It's about 11:02, so I'll kick off. Good morning, everyone. My name is Liam Brooks. I'm a senior marketing executive here at Cloud9 Insight, and this is our latest webinar, How to Integrate Your Sales and Marketing Processes. I'd like to introduce our guest speakers, Managing Director at Cloud9, Kurt Bean, and our special guest, Jamie Drysdale from Click Dimensions. Jamie, do you want to give yourself a little intro?
Special guest, that makes me feel very good, Liam. Thank you so much. Guys, lovely to meet everyone virtually. My name's Jamie Drysdale. I've been the channel director at Click Dimensions, been here for four and a half years and worked with Cloud9 throughout that entire time as well. So really nice to meet everyone. Kurt.
Thanks, Jamie. You are a special guest. Pleasure to have you here. For those that don't know, I'm Kurt Bean. I'm the MD at Cloud9 Insight. Great to see so many familiar faces on the webinar today, but also some new ones as well. So welcome to our webinar this morning. Thanks so much for joining. I've been with Cloud9 for about 8 years now. And for those that don't know, effectively, Cloud9, our mission is to support SMBs to achieve exceptional customer experiences and business growth. And we do that through the adoption of cloud technology and also harnessing the power of data. So thanks so much for joining today. I'm going to hand over back to Jamie, who is going to give you a little introduction to Click Dimensions.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, I think, Click Dimensions and Cloud9, we've worked together now for best part of, I think it's coming up to a decade of working together. So where Click Dimensions falls into that whole space of Dynamics is that we are 100% native. We're a full marketing solution suite that sits natively in the Dynamics CRM system. So it's not a separate platform. It doesn't have its own data elsewhere. It really is email creation, forms, surveys. I'll go into it a bit later on in terms of the solution, but ultimately all things that SMBs require from a marketing perspective to really help grow their wider business from a communication standpoint.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. And we've brought Click along today because they're such a great trusted partner of Cloud9. As Jamie said, we've worked together for over a decade. It's actually since 2011. So before either of us were even part of the business. But what we find so great about Click Dimensions is that the marketing solutions market, it is crowded. There's lots of solutions out there. But we found that Click is really a great fit for Cloud9 because we both center around the needs and also budget expectations for SMB customers. So we found that Click are much more than just a software vendor. As I said, they focus on the business challenges, on the outcomes of what our SMB customers need. But on top of that, they even offer marketing consultancy services. So these are services that can help your marketing from a functional perspective really excel and get the ROI. So as Jamie mentioned, the best bit about Click is that it lives inside of Dynamics 365. So there's no need for integration. And as many marketeers have said to me over the years, profiling and data is king. And by having that embedded product, it means that there is no integration and you can tailor your segments, your marketing list to literally any data point inside of CRM. So welcome, Jamie. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you could tell our great listeners a bit more about how Click Dimensions works.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, with Click Dimensions, what we ultimately look to understand, and as you mentioned there, Kurt, in terms of the SMB market, is really what the business objectives look like. But we can take the technology away for 2 seconds, really, because what we're looking to understand is how a business is looking to grow. And then at that point, ultimately understand then how does our technology relay back to those growth ambitions and goals. I think there's so many different challenges that the SMBs face that maybe some of the bigger organizations and marketing companies that don't truly understand in the SMBs, which we can go into in a second. But I think in truly understanding those key challenges, once again, it's not just about the technology, it's also about that support service alongside Cloud9 as well from a data and CRM perspective. We're able to truly understand those key objectives, the metrics, and then be able to work towards a mutual goal. We've got resources across the world globally. We do have a predominant presence in the UK and Ireland. We've got a nice big office in Cork where we got support agents that are assigned and aligned to our customers to really help them get to that stage, alongside, like you mentioned there, Kurt, the marketing services team to really help escalate and ramp up marketing to the next level.
Great.
Excellent. So as part of this webinar, we wanted to quiz you both on what you see as the key challenges that are faced by SMBs today in terms of their marketing. So I'll stop sharing for a minute and let you guys just discuss, really. So Jamie, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost, limited resources is probably a really good starting point, both from a marketing and sales perspective, especially in the SMB space. There tends to be individuals that wear multiple hats. So it tends to be that maybe a sales director is also doing some of the operations aspect as well. And in doing that, you need to be able to accommodate the technology so that it can grow. The organization is still in a position to grow, even though they do have multiple hats. So when there is a position whereby actually we are in a better position to then start recruiting and growing the organization, the technology that's in place can help accommodate that growth. It's not just for the here and now, but also 3, 5, 10 years down the line.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Certainly, SMBs do have that lack of resource when it comes to maybe outbound marketing. We're not all blessed to have, large internal marketing teams like some of the enterprise competitors that our customers are up against. And I would just add to that in that what these tools can give is a great way of making the most out of your resource. So optimizing that resource. So that can be with things like automation, for example. So, clients can achieve more with fewer resources or make their operations more efficient, as it were. And of course, by doing so, they're saving time. So by saving time on those tasks that can be automated, can give those people their time back to spend time on more strategic things with customers, looking at the future, trying to understand what AI might do for the business. All of these kind of things takes time to really sit down and think about. And by having a great tool in place, it can help to give you back some time by optimizing that process.
Like you said, I think automation is absolutely key. But I think when it comes to technology, is to help drive greater outcomes versus the time spent to put into actually trying to achieve that. So which is why sometimes that whole piece of investment in technology can be seen as a significant outgoing, when actually over the long term it is an investment in the organization and the people within the organization as well. I think this ties in quite nicely in terms of the lack of visibility, and that's not just the data, which I'll pass over to you on, Kurt, but also in terms of the market as well, in terms of their specific sector markets. Being able to utilize key technology to understand what competitors are doing, understanding the type of markets they're working in, and just general activity, especially from a social standpoint. We're seeing a lot of SMBs work significantly in the social space, and not having the right tools in place to have that visibility means that you're perhaps behind the trend and not necessarily following suit in terms of what your competitors are doing. What are you seeing from a data standpoint and data visibility, Kurt?
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's two parts of that. One is, what are the trends of who are your customers? What are they buying? What do they need? And in a really quickly changing market now, not just in technology, but also with skills shortages and increased labor rates. And, I don't want to talk about inflation and energy, but you kind of can't get away from it. So definitely the market is changing. And unless you've got data on your customers and as I said, who they are, where they live and what they're buying, those customers or those clients who have that, they're definitely getting ahead of the curve. I think there's the other side of the data, which is business owners and budget holders. They want to put forward some money towards marketing. They believe that it can be a way that they can grow their business, that they can upsell and cross-sell to existing customers. But without the visibility and analysis on, well, what are these campaigns that we're running actually generating? What is the ROI? That's actually something we hear a lot, is that's hindering the additional investment because they don't know whether these campaigns are being successful. So I would completely agree with you around lack of visibility of client data, but also lack of analysis on, are these marketing campaigns and initiatives actually generating any revenue for us?
It's a key one, isn't it? Especially in the SMB market, where every bit of investment is so important, and not having that visibility is potentially detrimental to some degree. Right? I think at least if campaigns aren't working, you can utilize that as a learning experience. You know, organization, especially when it comes to marketing, there can be a lot of trial and error. But I guess that's where that ties back quite nicely into our marketing services team, where they have that market experience. So you are making that additional investment to cut the what ifs and potential market avenues, and utilizing a team that's worked with other organizations in that space and understand what works and what doesn't, and having the tool in place already which can be capitalized on. Then it's really just a case of execution.
Yeah, I completely agree. Is there anything else that you're seeing?
I think also the final one, I mean, especially around the CRM, we've spoken a lot about the CRM, we've spoken about marketing. We can understand also the difficulty of standing out against larger firms and competitors. You know, I think that's a real significant challenge for a lot of the SMB market, is to really how do they differentiate themselves and grabbing the attention of their target audiences. You know, what's their unique selling proposition versus, you know, the key competitors. And once again, I think that tied in quite nicely what you were saying earlier about the segmentation of audience and really understanding behaviors, not just in terms from an account standpoint, but also the personas, the individuals that actually work in those organizations, and truly understand what level of content they're engaging with, what have they purchased before. And that's a really interesting that's interesting data just to understand, and being able to then capitalize that into future outbound communication.
Yeah, completely agree on that point. And I think what we're seeing now is a real a trend with clients who are perhaps ahead of the curve, but a real sort of yearning to be able to do this, is to really use data to tailor the communications that they're doing. You know, you mentioned the SMB versus the enterprise, as it were. Well, actually, what we're seeing is successful for smaller businesses is biting off a smaller part of the market, really getting tailored around the messaging and the service that they can offer to that market. And that makes them stand out against the competition. And that really only comes from knowing your product, but also knowing your data in terms of who you're gonna target. So, well, look, I think that was really useful in terms of what we're seeing. Amazing that we always kind of see the same things, which I guess is why the partnership works so well. But maybe, Jamie, you could just show us a few bits of Click Dimensions. You know, we've spoken a bit about the trends, we've spoken a bit about the benefits, but sometimes it's good to see some of the great tools that Click can offer.
Absolutely, not a problem at all. And in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one that I created earlier. I'm going to quickly share my screen just now, and hopefully you'll be able to see that in a second.
And in true Blue Peter webinar fashion, it's a black screen. Maybe try again.
Okay. Yeah, just waiting for Teams to load up. If you bear with me, please, guys. I do apologize. This always happens, doesn't it? It was inevitable to happen.
The great thing is that we're not selling Teams, so don't worry. We're not Teams experts. We have some great partners who are Teams experts, so maybe we'll intro you, Jamie, after the call. There we go. You're off and running.
We're all up and running. Fantastic. Good. Okay, guys. Well, look, hopefully everyone can see my screen just now. What we're going to do is just give you an overview of what the Click Dimensions tool is all about. So, for those that are on Dynamics, this is the core function of marketing, right? Like I mentioned earlier, it's all about email communication, outbound communication, communicating and understanding who your audience is, communicating with them, and all of that enriched outbound data automatically syncing with your CRM and updating as you go along. I'll give some case examples on that in a second. First and foremost, though, what we're looking to understand, though, is the target audience. We're talking a lot about segmentation and really understanding the type of audiences and businesses and contacts that we're looking to work with. So first of all, we're looking at segmentation. Once Kurt mentioned earlier, segmentation is based on being able to segment different areas and different fields of customer. This can be a wide range of different fields. It can be as simplified as when they last opened an email. It could be a case of the fact that they are a marketing manager or a CIO of a certain sector. What you can do is actually segment that audience and pull through dynamic marketing lists. That means that any criteria that is then set going forward, so any contacts, leads, or accounts that hit a certain criteria can get automatically added into this dynamic marketing list. Fantastic. We have our list. We are now looking to provide some form of outbound communication. We have a full range of different ways you can do that. The first and most common one that most organizations do is email, right? Now, really accommodating to the SMB market, we very much pride ourselves on a drag and drop editor. That is predominantly where we do offer key simplicity. It just helps customers ramp up and utilize the system imminently. So we've got all different types of sections. You can include images, text, you can change your email layouts, but also ensure that it is aligned with corporate branding as well. So you can start putting through different URLs, different custom fonts to really make sure that it is specific to your customer, to your business brand. Once you've got your email creation, you're able to then send that out into a bulk, and that can be to your marketing lists. It can be to a static marketing list that you've just pulled through manually in terms of individual businesses, or it can be on a one-to-one basis as well. Now, it's not just about email communication. We can take it one step further and start looking at forms. So with forms, these can be embedded onto your website. It can be embedded as part of a coders onto your emails. But the most important part about a form, when an organization typically invests in forms that go onto the website, someone fills out that form, and then they receive, somebody within the organization receives an email. That person then has to then manually go in and understand if that person is already synced in the CRM system. If they are, fantastic. They then have to then notify the account owner. If they're not, they have to then manually all that information in, unless you've got an API sync. What this will then do is actually create a brand new lead or contact. That's completely up to you. You can create a new visitor just there. You can have that assigned, and automatically assign and notify if there's already an individual that's associated to that contact, lead, or account. So that's fantastic. So we've got our forms. We also want to understand who's visiting the website. You're doing all this fantastic marketing, outbound communication. It's all going great. We need to understand who's actually visiting the website. So what we typically do is drop a cookie tracker on devices to really understand any key contacts, leads, or accounts that are actually visiting the website as a result of outbound communication. Now, not only does it pick up individual devices, it also will then continue to track, even if it's not a known contact or lead. So two ways we can do that: either to identify that specific individual, either they fill out a form that goes onto the website. It will then track the fact that that device has already been onto the website and then associate all the different pages that they've been on previously to that contact or lead. Or if they click on a link onto an email as well, it will then track that device and identify that Kurt Bain has been onto our website. He is interested in certain pages, certain products, certain services. And what does that mean for you? It means that you're able to then promote that specific service or product. You start hyper-personalizing your engagement. It's not a generic outreach. We know that they're interested in a certain solution or service. Let's make it really relevant to that person. We do also have an array of different integrations with events. This is both on a digital and a virtual standpoint. So we connect with GoToWebinar, with Teams, with the likes of Eventbrite and Cvent as well. So any outbound events that you are creating, or any sort of webinars that you are creating, Click Dimensions can absolutely accommodate for that. Anyone that registers on for the event, they can go through a personalized experience using our campaign automation tool. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Campaign automation, in reality, is actually the vast reason why most of our customers invest in our technology. It creates end-to-end experiences and journeys for customers, and knowing what the business knows what the outcome is going to be, because you are creating these end-to-end journeys. We've got triggers and actions on the right hand side here, and once again it's simple, it's drag and drop. We're able to do segmented audiences, add them into an email. That email is then automated, it then associates to a specific email that you have created, and then we want to add them to a sales list. But these can be super specific and really hyper personalized in terms of survey creation. We want to add them to a certain marketing list, but we can really start getting really personal by including updated fields. We can start assigning people. So if someone visits a certain page on the website, I could then assign that to Kurt, who would then be in a position to then send an automated email and then a manual task to then reach out to them by phone call. We're able to really dictate and personalize each and every journey that customers are going through, and it's all predetermined and pre-populated like so. That's at a very high level. What I'm also going to do is just quickly show the social aspect as well. So we do have a fully baked social solution that is synced with Click Dimensions. That is included all in your posting, your scheduling. You've got a social calendar. We can even take one step further and actually do customer and competitor analysis through streams and inbox. We've got a customer care and analytics piece, and also a social advocacy. What that means is that marketing are able to create social posts and enable users within the organization to share that post across their social media, making it look as if I have personally created a load of marketing content. Trust me, if anyone that has connected with me on my LinkedIn, all that amazing marketing that looks like I've created, that's not me. I am not going to take credit for that. That is our amazing marketing department, and I have clicked 2 buttons to put that and shared across my social posts. Now, that's our core product, as we all know and love. So those that are on Dynamics already, Click Dimensions, those are the types of capabilities you can expect. Those that are not on Dynamics, we do have something a little bit further called PowerPack. Now, this is our own IP PowerPack solution that we're working very closely with Cloud9 on, that also does incorporate an aspect of sales and CRM as well. So it's a very high level version of dynamic sales designed for the SMB market. But what it does mean is that customers are able to invest in a full marketing, sales and CRM solution fully baked into one. And that does include also one-to-one interactions through our sales engagement tool. So sales sequencing, being able to actually create predetermined phone calls, predetermined emails and LinkedIn messages. But we've also got part of that is the CRM function as well. So it's a contacts and account base and opportunity basis as well. So being able to then create key opportunities on the back of any marketing and sales activities. But I do appreciate the vast majority of people that are on the call today are on Dynamics already, but I just wanted for those that aren't on there to just make you aware that there are other solutions available for you through Cloud9, through our PowerPack solution. And that, I believe, is a 9-minute demonstration, which is under my 10-minute allowance. So
I thought we said 8, to be honest, but you did a great job, Jamie.
Thank you so much, guys. So yeah, so what does this all mean for you guys going forward? So as mentioned before, we're working very closely with Cloud9 as our one of our launch partners. We've got a long-standing relationship with Cloud9 and their ability to deliver across the SMB market. They're our chosen partner of choice. That's based on both CRM, marketing and sales engagement. Kurt, I don't know if you want to talk a bit more about how that can be relatable to all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, great demo, Jamie. Thank you. I know it was short, but also really punchy in terms of those key bits. So, effectively, what we do together as a partnership is help clients to use their sales data and really accelerate their marketing efforts to generate some ROI, to grow their business, to upsell and cross sell. So, if there are any questions, please do pop them in the chat. We have got 5 minutes now to hang around and answer. We have also popped in some book a call links into the chat. And if there was any of you that were interested in what you've seen today, or perhaps you're already using Click Dimensions and you want to learn more about some of the other products such as social or intelligent dashboards, or you're brand new to all of this and you think, wow, this might be something that could help our business, then we're here to help. And we'd be delighted to have a discovery call with you to talk about firstly, what does your business need? That is how we come at this. So what are the business challenges you face? How can we potentially, as a consultancy who has delivered about 900 of these solutions now to SMB customers, how can we help you on that journey? And how can we support your vision, and how can we support your success? Both us with Microsoft Dynamics, but also with marketing as part of that vision, is how can we utilize the ClickDimensions tool and their expertise to achieve more effectively. So guys, thank you very much for your time today. If there were any questions, please do pop them in the chat. Otherwise, we will follow up and share a link to the recording. And if there are any booker calls, then we'll be in touch and we'll be delighted to speak with you. Any closing remarks, Jamie?
No, I've spoken enough. No, I just really appreciate it. There's been a huge turnout today, so really do appreciate everyone's time. And yeah, like Kurt mentioned, it really is about just understanding about what you're looking to achieve from a from a business standpoint, and then we can understand how that aligns with the technology available to you. So thank you for everyone's time.
Right. Thank you, everyone. I think we'll call it there unless there are any questions in the chat. No? All right.
It must have been such an informative session and great demo that no one has any questions. So
we covered everything. 9 minutes.
Thanks, everyone. Wishing you a great day. Look forward to chatting soon.
See you. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.